Hello, my friends, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we're going to just real quick look at how Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is doing. There's not a whole lot of talk about it, and it seems to me that might be because the gameplay is probably just a little not so bad that it's causing any kind of waves, but at the same time, not absolutely fantastic. I'm not seeing people talk a lot about bug issues or, even bad graphic issues, though there is a little bit of buzz out there about how heavily this taxes your graphic card, especially when you realize that it absolutely must use ray tracing. Which we discussed in a previous video. And part of the reason we're talking about this is I was looking for my topic and I couldn't think of anything I felt like talking about tonight. And then this kind of sparked just a little bit of thought in my brain. Lucasfilm Game comments on potential making of more Indiana Jones games. I did watch Heels vs. Babyface as play a little bit of the opening and into the first few minutes of the actual game, and it looks really nice. Obviously, going through the beginning of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom there at the beginning makes it kind of cool, gives you those member berry feelings. And I got a little sad when you saw Tony Todd playing the mysterious giant that pops up. I mean, sad because he passed as opposed to sad because he's a giant that beats up Indiana. But that's beside the point. This article really just talks about how there is a lot of room for making other games, more stories. Goes to say, while there is no solid yes or no, it seems as though if the Great Circle finds fiscal success, there could be future partnerships. The question is it finding fiscal success? Unfortunately, if you're looking at the SteamDB charts, I'm going to have to go with no. It released on the 9th. The all-time peak was 12,138. 24-hour peak's already down to 10,939, with 4,252 playing right now. Now, of course, this came out on other platforms, so there could be more sales that we don't know about. It could be hugely popular on any of the other consoles, but maybe not. As you can see, the current score stands at very positive. I find it interesting that one person has already 100%ed it. It took them about 35 hours, but it's only 2-star difficulty, so it makes sense that it only took them that long. Now, I want to see what the negative comments really say. So far, you got one from the 10th that says the game's not bad, but it constantly crashes to desktop. Another guy who says it's running very well, but the combat is boring and the stealth is boring, and it's just, this guy says, I wish there was a meh as opposed to the whole only good or bad. Interesting, he says the voice acting by Troy Baker as Indy is impressive, but not right. I watched Raiders about an hour before I started this game, so I'd just been hearing Harrison Ford as Indy. Baker absolutely nails his voice. I didn't even know it wasn't Ford playing the character. But he does not nail the delivery. Every single line he says, at least so far, is delivered with a completely flat affect. To be fair, Ford's Indy does use a flat delivery for some iconic lines when he's tired, but he's not like that all the time. Baker's Indy absolutely has no emotion in his line reading. Just listening to the banter with Brody in the first post-tutorial area, Brody is lively, Indy is a robot. And I did notice that it seemed to me that the delivery was kind of flat. More complaints about it crashing. This guy refunded the product, saying it's a great game, but it was unplayable on his RTX 3060. Yeah, it seems the people who find it buggy are basically having crash issues, but there doesn't seem to be the majority, at least not on Steam. Again, only about 12,000 people have played it at the peak so far, so maybe we're just not seeing the bugs. I didn't see any crashes in the bit of the playthrough I watched. That doesn't mean anything necessarily. Unfortunately for Bethesda, at this point, this doesn't seem to be a great and amazing hit. On the plus side, it also doesn't seem to be so terrible that you're seeing constant YouTube videos about it. There's nothing that anybody has, to this point, found in the content that they found so abhorrent that it's made the rounds for days on end, unless, of course, I'm missing something, which is entirely possible. But in terms of anger and hatred, people don't seem to be directing a lot at the game. Now, it could be because maybe people don't want anything to do with the Bethesda game. at this point in time. Now, as I was thinking about it, I was wondering if maybe it has a consultancy issue in regards to something like Sweet Baby Inc. However, despite this post I found on their forums, checking the curator group and the DEI detected website does not show on either one. So with that, maybe people just aren't as excited for it as you would anticipate. Word of mouth buzz definitely does not currently exist. And you can see on both PC and Xbox, it currently has a score of 87 as far as the critics go. For the Xbox, it has an 8.8. And on the PC, it has a 7.9. So I don't know. It seems like it's maybe just a meh game that likely costs too much to make any money, which is about what we expect to see from AAA at this point in time at the very, very most. I mean, they haven't really put out a monster hit in a while, so I don't know why that would seem particularly surprising, but it is what it is, kind of. And of course, just as I am trying to get to the point where I am editing my video, I open up Twitter just to take a glance through, which I do off and on throughout my process, just because I do not concentrate on one thing very well. And I see someone here, of course, complaining about the gameplay. Rock Solid says, "This is one of the most boring, uninspired video games I've played in the past years. The combat sucks, the story sucks, the character sucks, the graphics on maximum settings and upscaling still somehow cannot load in book covers. Ignore anyone who tries to shill this shit." Definitely might explain why it's not doing particularly hot on PC. He goes on to say, "Ray tracing is awful. Your companion will not shut the fuck up ever, nor will she let you solve a single puzzle without giving a fucking hint every 5 seconds into doing one. I cannot bear more than 6 hours of this. If it gets good after 6, then so be it." But since I had just mentioned that I hadn't seen anything either way about it, and then this rolled across my timeline, I figured I better go ahead and include it. Back to your regular video ending. So to end up a video, here is a small little video of the puppies playing once again. They are getting, as I keep saying, they're just getting so much more active and bigger every day. They're still not quite totally firm on their feet, but you can tell we're just a day or two away from them being absolute hellions, hungry all the time. There's Violet peeing on the heating pad, which thankfully can be washed. I'll have to take care of that tomorrow. But they're just being adorable and growing. All that said, my friends, thank you so much for being here. Let me know your thoughts on anything I had to say. I know it's kind of just a random, rambly video, but it's what I had for today. I look forward to reading your comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. If you really liked it, you can feel free to share it around, and I will catch you later.